So, Deity dressing course. It's an online course, and this was split in 4 sessions. Weekly once class, 1 hour each. And during the week, students had to submit to their assignments, which was based on the previous week live class. So in the first session, we covered principles of art and Varnitai dressing. And for the principles of art in Jagannath Baladev dressing. And in the third week, we did Radha Krishna. And in the fourth week, we did care and some other styles. And as we know, when we are teaching in Mahaprakari, what we have been trained by Narasimha Kavach Prabhu, each unit is divided in knowledge, skills, and values. So as was this course as well, though it's primarily based on skills, knowledge and value also is a very integral part to be able to apply those skills practically in the right way. So we shared with them, with the students, gave them scriptural references of why dressing we are doing. It's not for our own, purpose, or we just wanted to do just because we like it. It's coming directly from the scriptures, what Krishna wishes himself to be worshipped as and what he likes. So based on the verse of Bhagavatam 11:27-16. So that's where we started with. And as I mentioned, value part, we have seen over the past some time that there have been some inappropriate dressing of the deities around. So this was very we took this as an opportunity to educate devotees, not in the name of being creative. They want to do something whimsical, which was not established by our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada. So we discussed on some dressing styles which was appropriate or not. There were some discussions, and this course we did it on a Facebook group platform, and we are going further down with Moodle, right? Probably for the next course. And in the Facebook group, we had discussions, like 1 or 2 points we discussed during the live class, and the rest were given as a homework. And then we had our assignment. This was a Google Doc where they had to fill in if what were their thoughts on these kind of dressing styles. Was it appropriate or not? So like I just kind of summed it up, all the presentation, because like I said, we divided it in Varnitai, Jagannath Baladev, and Radha Krishna. So there were some whatever inappropriate and appropriate dresses of Jagannath and Radha Krishna and Varnitai. So this is what we covered, and then we discussed. And in the end, we concluded them with our Srila Prabhupada's understanding, what he has given us when he established the movement, what was his mood. Basically, this is all under the mood of worship, how Srila Prabhupada, as all of us know, that he spoke about how they are Radha Krishna deity, but the way that we are worshipping is in the mood of Lakshmi Narayan. And this very famous quote of Prabhupada from the letter of Dhruvananda, that where he says that the greatest danger will come when we try to change things. So we had discussions on based on this. So this was like more value part, that's inculcating them the value of where we are going. I mean, we are learning the skill, but not on the terms of trying to be whimsical or trying to do what we like to do. And as Kuru has taught many of us in our Macro Academy diploma course, the elements and principles of art. And since this was only for 4 week, and basically we covered only small deities, because we had devotees, devotees have deities at home, and usually they are not so big. They are usually like somewhere between 7 to 12 inches, like at most 1 feet. They don't usually have very big deities. So having taking that into consideration, I didn't go further with many elements and many principles. Whatever would be required for smaller deities, because you can't do much variety in smaller deities, because one needs to be really able to find very, very small things to be put variety. So these are the 4 principles that we shared with them in the class: unity, harmony, balance, proportion, and the corresponding elements to them. This is just a small snippet of how we try to show them what, because this is a very, very visual thing. It's more than speaking, it's more about seeing and them understanding. So we try to put them more into pictures and video format so that they're able to grasp it, and the videos were available for them in the coming weeks, so that they can even watch if they missed something in the class live session or something. So it was easy for them, and even if they didn't miss the class, for them to go back and refer it again, it was very useful for them. So as one of the principles is like, we avoid crooked lines, and how non-crooked lines, beautiful lines, add to the beauty of the turban. So that was shown, and it's like these, and proportion is one of the principles. So if we use very big pieces, often we see, that usually devotees cannot find that much appropriate size of turban pieces, and they're so excited or too enthusiastic to make turbans for very small deities, and then it doesn't look that good, and it doesn't add to the beauty of the deity. So making them emphasize the fact that if it's proper size, then it looks beautiful. And then we gave them the small exercise during the class hour, which they responded on the Zoom chat, for them to be able to find what are the different principles they find from that respective picture which was given to them. So here you can see we showed them where are the proportions and where's the unity. And then they were given exercises at home as well. This is small video I just edited for you all to be able to see what we covered in this 4-week course. We gave them as additional resource as well, for them to be able to get more ideas and explore how there could be different styles. It's not limiting to one thing, but somewhere we had to start. And after so much contemplation and thinking, this is something our humble attempt, like we were discussing previously with the Kumar's presentation, not poking the pins inside the deity. This was started with a very simple dressing, just putting the crowns. Not everybody probably in home wanted to make turbans, so they could just do with crowns as well. And then Jagannath dressing we showed them, and here if you see there was in this editing, when we put picture in picture, they can see the back also, because when devotees are here in live, they can go around and see what the teacher is doing, but probably when they're sitting on a Zoom class or online, may not be possible. So putting the pins from the back and taking the pins from the back and not poking it inside So all those aspects which we were discussing just a few minutes ago in the earlier presentation. And as I mentioned, we tried this for only small deities, and many as all of you are pujaris here, so probably know more than what I am speaking. There's a way how we dress. Just telling them the hacks of getting things like how Prabhu was mentioning, to use clips, not pins, over the deity's hair. Or anywhere, use as less as pins possible. So this was small Radha Krishna dressing, and we try to find as small proportionate flowers in turban pieces for the deities for them, so that they look beautiful. So it's like a 10-inch high or 11-inch high Radha Krishna deities. And then we had some additional videos, just telling them basic turban, how to wrap. Like we were mentioning just a few minutes ago, this sponge is very, very important so that they don't poke the deities, and the deities don't end up with a lot of scratches. And how we pin up the flowers, not from the back, so that the flowers look natural, and then we don't see the pin heads in the front of the turban. And then we had shown them some dressing of Mayapur Chandra. This deity is in Prabhupada's room here in Mayapur, for those of you who have visited Mayapur. These were all additional videos which were shared with them on the Facebook resource page, for them to be able to go back and refer, probably, and then use different styles as required, and giving them more ideas and thoughts. And then we added even some few veil styles. There were some requests. So just very, very simple ways we can add things and make it more beautiful in the pleasure of the Lord. So we show them 2 extra veil styles and some turbans, and how to make this So, we showed them like 3 kinds of turbans with classic, what we call, and trying to, compare them what we showed in the class, and then reverse classic and moon shape, whatever we could incorporate to the best of the ability on the small deity, and cross turban. And like we discuss each week the principle, and then they were given the exercises. So what we did is we gave them some pictures of turbans or some deities pictures with the dressing, and then we gave them a sample of how they should answer them, and they submitted the answers, sent it to us back on email. And I was a bit apprehensive of this exercise because I didn't know how it's going to work online digitally, to be very honest. But seeing some of the responses from the students, they really put their heart and found some new ways, which I also learned from them, how further we could develop this when they are submitting their answers. There could be different formats, not just this one way. So like this is just an example of what we send them the pictures, and then they send us back with the their answers that this wasn't proper or things like that. Just we had participants from many countries. We had from India, Malaysia, Japan, America, Canada, Ireland, France, West Indies, Croatia, Australia, and South Africa. And we ran actually around this time only 5 to 6 p.m. IST. This was the time we ran. But for some of the Australians, it was a bit late, but we still had some devotees from Australia as well. And I think we had 2 or 3 devotees from South Africa, Johannesburg, I believe. One was from there. So yeah, and as when anything which we wanted to implement in the Krishna service. We really wanted to have the feedback to improve upon further so that we are able to serve even more better. So this is some of the feedback which we got from some of the students. Like one of the students said that, it was the best class which they ever took in ISKCON, and they liked, and it was perfect duration of class. And this third one was very encouraging for me, because when, as you see here, it's like video tutorials, live sessions, having a weekly one session was super helpful for us to digest, recall, and remember all the teachings. So this is something very, very important when we go on giving them information after information. For some devotees, yes, it's easy, but for some it takes a time to sink inside and to be able to put them into practice, because this is a very practical thing, and we need to give them some time to be able to practice and absorb, because this is something very new for many of the devotees, and not many in ISKCON are, I don't know if they have any schools like this who are teaching in a very systematic way for them to be able to grasp from whichever level they are to improve upon. And as the last one was also inspiring for me to hear that it was good info even for the basic and neophyte devotees, because we were not just projecting or aiming this course for only experienced pujaris. This course which we ran was open to any a devotee from any how you say, like any standard or any platform. So that was the idea, and I think that served the purpose as well, because the homeworks which we received, I was quite like not sure how many of them would be really inspired to send that digitally, but seeing their response has given me more encouragement to go on further with that. So yeah, thank you. That's all I have to say about this course, which we ran in the month of September for sessions. So yeah, I think it's 5:30 already. Thank you.